You're
Here,
so
let me answer your
fake.
questions. Yes, I work in Saudi Arabia. Yes, I have a fucking degree from Johns Hopkins University. You can look that up. You want to talk about who's here for the cameras? I'm not Lydia or Aaliyah. You're not going to make me cry. I'll read you for the filth you are. Loser.
Oh my god, I don't know which is giving me life more. Miriam reading Uche for filth and telling him the truth about himself, or the girl's facial expressions when Uche is trying to sort of play victim, or whether it's him trying to silence Jonay and Stacy so that everyone can pay attention to him. His attention seeking is showing, and it's terrible. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell when I upload new videos, leave a comment, and definitely click the like button. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 5, Episode 8. Oh my god. So the episode continues with Uche having a conversation with Milton, and Milton is very, as I said, Milton is very well thought out, is very sort of reflective and very understanding. So then Lydia comes to sort of pull Milton away from Uche, and Uche is, oh, are you going to tell her to stop you talking to your friend? Are you going to let her stop two friends talking? And it's like, I doubt if he would choose you. If he was asked to make a choice, he would always choose this lady over you. It doesn't matter. You're friends. You've only known him as long as he's known Lydia. So I don't think your friendship is that strong enough for him to sort of walk away from someone he's proposed to. And then Milton was good because he was able to sort of pacify Lydia and go away with her to sort of have a conversation and tell Uche that he was just give us a moment. And so when that attention was taken from him, he then went to the rest of the group. Uche is very disrespectful. I don't care. I know people are defending him and saying the show didn't do him justice. I think he should have carried himself better. He should have learned a thing or two from Zach from last season, because Zach is a lawyer just like him. And yes, Zach, people called him weird and whatever. But he always knew how to carry himself with dignity and grace. And even when he didn't agree with what his first fiance was doing, Irina, he never disrespected her. He was always respectful. Even now with his wife, he's still very respectful. So I don't know where Uche's coming from. Anyway, he starts to tell the story. He's been making out and playing victim and telling everybody else that, Lydia followed him onto the show and she's forcing herself onto him. She didn't want him to find anyone. And so the girls, their eye rolls, their facial expressions, you can tell they already know that he's telling lies, and they're not buying anything he's saying. And so he expected all of them to agree with him and just say yes. So when the girls sort of said no, that's not how things played out, that's when he started sort of isolating. I think he was very disrespectful to the people of color. I didn't like the way he spoke to Miriam, or the way he spoke to Maris. I felt that was disrespectful. For him to turn around and say, oh, I only want to hear from Stacy, that didn't make sense. And for Stacy to then start picking a fight with Jonay, that mess also didn't make sense. And I like the fact that Miriam stood up and told him the truth about himself, because when he tried to play victim and it didn't work out, he tried to be petty. Do you live in Saudi Arabia or do you live in the US? Are you employed? And I like the fact that she read him for filth. I also love the fact that when Miriam was upset, you could actually tell her Nigerian accent was coming out, and it was hilarious. And as soon as she told him off, and I think he realized that nobody was buying whatever he was trying to sell, that's when he stormed off and stood in a corner and is like, are you a little kid? Settle down, young man. I'm sorry, but who made Johnny judge and jury? The fact that she's trying to analyze the information. Yes, we know she's a lawyer, but the fact that she's saying what you said and what Uche said and what Aliyah said, it's a lot of information. It's none of your business. You need to focus on your relationship with Chris and your relationship with Izzy and with Stacey. This has nothing to do with you. There's a lot in between the lines, because they are all trying to make themselves look good, and the truth is going to come out at the reunion, so you don't need to play judge and jury. Sit down, Judge Judy. Anyway, you can see that all the girls are furious, and no one is on Uche's side, because they call him a narcissist because of the way he behaved. And for him to then go and try and speak to Milton, I think Uche doesn't like the idea that Milton seems all in with Lydia. He even said if Milton says yes on wedding day, that's the biggest mistake he'll have made thus far. And it's like, this has nothing to do with you, buddy. If you are happy with Aaliyah and if you don't want anything to do with Lydia, focus on your relationship. There's no need for you to be tearing Lydia down now. For you to be talking about the stalker, oh, she was stalking people on their stories, or she was saying this and that to Aaliyah. It's because things are not working out the way you wanted them to work out with Aaliyah. That's why you're now trying to tarnish Lydia's relationship. That's the impression that I'm getting. And personally, I don't think Aaliyah is Uche's type. I think she's Uche's type because that's why you wanted to come out as black love. But if you look at the people he's dated, or if you look at the way he's treated the two black women that he had a connection with, then you realize that I don't think they're his type. The disrespect he showed towards Miriam, the disrespect he showed towards Aaliyah when he was criticizing her about cheating on him, only to on her ex, only to find out that he cheated on Lydia, doesn't make sense to me. And I think this is why Lydia was sort of saying, I see you in me, when Aaliyah was crying about Uche cheating. And so, I don't know. We'll see how that plays out, but it didn't make sense. I like the fact that Milton is very emotionally intelligent. He sort of used calculus and Pythagorean theory, I can't pronounce that, to sort of try and navigate and tell, which is that more or less there's your story, there's Lydia's story, and then there's the truth. And I am the one who has to sort of judge to see what is true and what is not true. And I like how dismissive he was to Uche when he said to him, I'll see you in the group chat. More or less like, I don't want, outside of the group chat, don't contact me. We have nothing to say to one another. I really loved that. I loved that for him. Well, I guess Izzy and Stacy deserve one another. I don't know why they were piling on Chris. I know people become emotionally invested in people, but for them to create so much drama about Jonay doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, Chris is going to see the season. The producers are going to show it. And so for them to try and sort of make it seem like, Jonay is this bad, evil person and Chris needs to stay away from her as much as possible. It's like, well, if the two of you are happy, then you shouldn't be worried about what's going on with Chris. If Jonay was sort of interfering in your relationship, it's one thing. But if she's decided to stay away and she's decided to stick with Chris, then leave her alone. I don't even know why they were calling her names. And I like the fact that Maris sort of tried to say, you, Stacy, and Izzy are my friends, and also Chris and Jonay are my friends, and I'm trying to make sure that we understand each other. And what I find is these people lack accountability because as soon as someone calls them out on their crap, the same way Uche started throwing a fit is the same way Stacy started throwing a fit, and it's like, oh God, make it make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. And Jonay is trying too hard to convince Chris. She's trying too hard. When he sees it, I hope he understands it the way she wants to put it across. But oh God, she put herself in a hole that I think once it comes out and once Chris sees the show, chances are he might say, no, we're done, or let's take a pause. Am I the only one who's confused about the fight between Izzy and Stacy? I don't get. Okay, I understand the fact that they are both wondering why they're so aggravated by Johnny, but at the end of the day, them saying you haven't cooked for me, you haven't run a bath for me, you haven't. How many days has it been? How long has it been since they came back from Mexico? It's unrealistic. I understand him feeling insecure in the sense that she's this wealthy girl and he has to really work hard to prove himself to make sure that he's not there for the money and people understand he's not there for the money. But it's complicated. That relationship is very toxic, and I think they need to do a lot of work if they do decide to say yes on wedding day. And then Milton, I love Milton. And Lydia's growing on me. The fact that he's that emotionally intelligent enough to sort of pacify Lydia and then sort of build her up by giving her words of affirmation and making sure that she's steady before they left the event. And when they got back to their apartment and they were in bed, the fact that he was trying to talk her down because she was becoming wound up again about Uche, and he was trying to help her sort of get coping mechanisms in and sort of learn how to react when people behave in the way Uche behaved. I thought that was cute. I thought that was the best thing I've ever seen. I'm so happy for Lydia that she gets to be loved and to experience pure and honest and non-toxic love. Oh my God. I wish Milton was a bit older. I really do. I can't believe I'm saying this. I really can't believe I'm saying this. But Stacey and Izzy might be growing on me. Surprise, surprise. I love love. So they obviously, after their disagreement the night before, Izzy then goes to Stacy where she's conducting this Pilates class or whatever it was to sort of have a conversation. I think because the night before he just wanted to be left alone. I think he just wanted to process what he was feeling. And so I like the fact that they didn't continue to create drama just for the sake of drama, but they waited until the following day when they had cooler heads, had this conversation, which was surprising for me because their conflict resolution, I have to give it an A plus, because there was no shouting, no screaming. They were all able to say their piece and sort of agree to disagree or agree to sort of move on from it and sweep it under the rug, which shows that there is potential. I always was surprised by that couple, but seeing how they resolve their conflict, yes, I know they had issues with Janae. People are surprised that, oh, why do they have issues with Janae? I think it's because there was more to the Janae and Izzy relationship than we were shown by the producers, and I think this is why he feels some type of way about Janae. Whereas with Stacey, I think she feels some type of way because of the fact that Janae was saying terrible things behind her back, but when she found out that Izzy was very serious about Stacey, so I get that. I like the fact that he actually brought her a gift, and in the gift, there were gimmicky gifts that sort of made Stacey laugh. It wasn't all very serious. The plunger because she blocked the toilet in Mexico, and that sort of brought a light-hearted humor to their conversation, which allowed them to move on. And then they got to meet Izzy's mom. I love his mom. I really do. I like the fact that she wanted to make sure that this is the woman for her son, and not only that, she wanted to make sure that her son is treating the woman very well. And the fact that Stacey was able to articulate herself. I think seeing Izzy with Stacey, now I understand why he picked Stacey instead of Johnny. I think Stacey is a better fit for him. I think Stacey is going to motivate him. I think she's going to drive him. I think she's going to encourage him to be the best version of himself. And I like the fact that she was able to articulate what her feelings are towards Izzy and allow his mom to get a better understanding of really what it means for this woman, and that this woman is not just doing it for the TV. Because I don't think Stacey really needs the money that comes with, these influencer thingies. I think because she comes from money, she's really not fazed by that. It might be she might have seriously been looking for love, but was very, very skeptical. So it's nice to see how they're sort of making things work and how they're building their bond. We barely got to see Milton and Lydia in this episode, I think because he was working a lot of nights and stuff, and so their shifts were sort of crossing over and they didn't get time to film. But we see them in the apartment, sort of he's having breakfast and she's teasing him, and they then get on their way to go and meet Milton's family. And for me, I love Milton for Lydia. I think if you were to choose my favorite couple this season, it would be Milton and Lydia, because they bring out a side of each other that we didn't expect, in the sense that Milton mellows Lydia. He not in a like he's patronizing or he's trying to sort of control her. No, he's just there. He gives her the reassurance and the love that allows her not to sort of spaz out and sort of be all over the place. She's just mellow and she's just calm. So even when they get to meet his family, you can see there is tension there. I said this before, that the 6-year age gap was going to be a problem, but surprisingly, he just sits there, and you can tell that everyone in his family is highly intellectual. They're all very educated people. The way his mother interrogates oh my god, I think she works for the CIA or FBI. Oh my god, I'm just saying, I have nothing to confirm that, but the way she interrogated Lydia and got all her details, her credentials and everything, is like, oh my god. Even the sister was like, oh my god, she will have you investigated with your credit score and everything before you leave the building. And it's like, I understand as a parent you're worried, just like Izzy's mom was worried, but oh my god, I don't know whether it's the editing. It was very hot for Lydia. It was very hot. And Milton didn't help anything, because he just kept telling them, calm down, calm down. But he did try to prepare her by telling her, with my family, it's either sink or swim. So you have to be on your A game. Otherwise, they're going to drown you. And I think this is why Lydia was prepared. So I think she reassured them. I think she reassured them. I think Milton is too emotionally intelligent to be marrying a 24-year-old or anyone who's younger than him. I think they would just bore him. I think Lydia is the right type of woman that he needs. He needs someone who's mature, someone who's intelligent, who's educated, and I think Lydia is the one for him. I know some people might disagree, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click on the link in my video to watch my review for episode 7. Bye everyone.